How you doing? It's Tim Piles, FM 94.9, the local 94.9, supporting local music here in San Diego. Places like the Casbah, 20 years here in town. Congratulations, Tim Mays and crew. We wouldn't be anywhere without you right now in these days.
My name is Anna Maria Stevens, and I've been writing about music in San Diego for about a decade now. In the mid-'80s, Tim started putting on shows down here at local music halls, and then in '89 he opened the original Casbah location, which is just down the street from the current location, and by 1994 they moved into the new Casbah, and it's been making history ever since.
It just started in a R&B, jazz, kind of rootsy kind of thing idea that we had, and then it just blossomed and got crazy, and bands started calling and started playing, and everybody from every city in the country wanted to play here.
My favorite shows are some of these UK acts that come to San Diego. Huge bands in their home country, and they play there at the Casbah.
Hey, we're 3 Mile Pilot. I'm Zach.
Well, I'm Paul.
And
I'm Tom.
3 Mile Pilot, Paul Jenkins, Tom Zinzer, Zach Smith. They've been together probably since 93, 92, somewhere in there.
They're one of those San Diego bands that will go down in the annals of history as one of the best bands that ever existed in San Diego.
The thing that's amazing about them is, you know, they were kids when they started, basically, and the fact that they're playing their first shows in 10 years.
It feels interesting. It feels like going back in time, but at the same time, it feels like progression and something cool. So it's good. It's going to be nice.
yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of a feeling like you have to fulfill what people's visions are of 3 Mile Pilot, or what their expectations are of the band a little bit. And you never want to do that when you're playing music. You just want to go and do your own thing. But that's in there a little bit. It's kind of surprising, honestly, that it's not like the Casbah's a big place, but I'm surprised that we have 3 sold-out shows.
Tim Mays is the owner of the Casbah, and anyone who's even remotely interested in music in this town knows him. He has incredible taste in music. He's always looking for the next big thing, or just the next small thing, and he somehow has a knack for finding it.
He's responsible for everything good that comes to San Diego musically, and he's the reason why people keep coming back to play San Diego.
When Crash Worship played here and ruined the place. I lost the club in a pool game to Eddie Vedder one night after a Jonathan Richman show. Rocket from the Crypt played here a million times, always had fun. Too many to recall, but those are 3 memorable ones.
Eddie Vedder, who of course played with Pearl Jam and has some roots in San Diego. Eddie was down to see a show. It was a Jonathan Richman show, and after the show, Tim and Eddie were drinking together, and they made a little wager. And Tim told Eddie that if he won the pool game, he could have the Casbah, and if Tim won, he could have all of Eddie's royalty as well. Eddie won the pool game, and of course it was just a drunken bet, but a few months later, Eddie was on a radio show in Seattle and mentioned the incident, and it made its way down the coast, and even today some people still ask Tim if Eddie Vedder really owns the Casbah.
He pretty much started booking all the bands that nobody else would touch back in those days. Bands like Nirvana, I know you've heard of them. Nirvana? Yes. they played there?
My favorite show would probably have to be Stiff Little Fingers. That was a few days after 9/11 happened, and it was a sold-out show. Bruce Foxton from the Jam was on bass, and there was just a palpable feeling of camaraderie and spirit.
The shows I saw, there was the Smashing Pumpkins when they first started off. That was one of the best shows. I would also have to say the time the Catherine Wheel played there as well.
Over the years, there's been, some exclusively random shows there. I remember when Weezer played there. This is after they'd kind of, been on hiatus for some time. You weren't even sure if they were ever going to come back. And they were playing shows under the name Goat Punish. The Cult, actually, that was a great show. They played under a much simpler pseudonym. I think it was The Cult backwards in reverse. And that night was pretty cool because I got to have a chat with Ian Ashbury and Shepard Fairey, who now Shepard Fairey, of course, a national treasure, you could say. I mean, he's the guy who designed campaign posters that you've seen so much everywhere.
Another iconic element of the Casbah is the wall. A lot of people know about the wall. If you go to the MySpace page, the wallpaper is the wall. It's the backdrop to the stage, and you go to a lot of places, there's a lot of different things stuck up on stage, sometimes a curtain, sometimes a brick wall. In the case of the Casbah, they have old tuck and roll Naugahyde seat cushions, giving that that bar feeling. Even on the stage, it looks like a bar.
The Casbah is a really tiny venue. It only holds about 132 people. So when you go there, you really get to experience the band up close and personal. There's no green room, there's no VIP area, it's just you and the band.
Hometown bar. Playing shows, the crowd is always great. It's always packed. It's always fun. It's always responsive and respectful, and it's just generally always a good time. Really good time.
That show at the Casbah, man. There's been so many. I can remember, some non-local bands that just blew my mind there. Zen Gorilla and John Spencer Blues Explosion. One time randomly catching Gogol Bordello for the first time, and these guys are just mind-blowing experience.
Mine was probably No Means No, with the drummer set up sideways so you could see everything. Either that or the Nirvana show.
My favorite rock show of all time actually was at the Casbah. Several years ago, it was the Jesus Lizard played there.
Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Rocket from the Crypt, Jesus Lizard, Modest Mouse, the White Stripes, the Strokes, you name it, they've played there.
Casbah, San Diego.